Hello, I'm Pete, and welcome back to Sable. We're back here at the mysterious shrine. I'm going to talk to Fur and see if they've had enough time to decipher the strange instructions yet. I have given them a few days. That's got to be long enough, right? Upon seeing me, Fur all but leaps with excitement. Sable, I've been waiting for you. I decoded the final inscription. We were right. It was a game, a race, and you completed it exactly as intended. Do you know what that means? I won? Oh, you definitely won, or more accurately, Simoon won. It barely registers with me that she uses Simoon despite never being introduced, and I don't get a chance to bring it up before she's going on. There's a prize, a real one. Once you complete the race, the pillars reveal the text. Translate the text, and you get bike parts. Incredible ones, older in their design than any I've ever seen, but perfectly elegant. You must try them, Sable, you must. I can fit the parts onto your own bike if you'd like to ride it now. Yes, please. Okay, let's take a look. So what have we got here? We've got the hicaric ring bike. Alright, so that gives us a dropping in max speed, but some compensatory acceleration and handling. I've got to say, the speedster bike seems better. Less loss of max speed, more gain in acceleration and handling. But let's put all of the hicaric ring parts on and see where that puts us. Okay, so that gives us a very, very handling-oriented kind of bike. If I were to upgrade to this speedster thing, that would just be better all round. You know, why would I not do that? And likewise the wings, the speedster is better all round. I see where this is going. Do I not have the speedster bike engine? I don't. Okay, well let's stick with what we've got here. This is a pretty good... That's pretty good. I mean, obviously it doesn't have anywhere near the max speed of the whale ship bike. This bike, Fur shakes her head and shrugs, but it's in a nice way. The way you do it, something so grand and so beautifully awe-inspiring that you can't help but feel small and sort of casually useless in its shadow. This bike is wonderful. I tell her I agree, and thank her for the opportunity to ride in an ancient race. I also explain that in playing their old game, I felt more connected to the past than I did hearing the drier bits of history. That's great. I mean it. I don't know if I'm just a romantic or something, but I always have such a hard time connecting to the past without connecting to the people. Strange for a machinist, isn't it? I think about it. I suppose it is strange for a machinist, somehow, but I find it comforting too. There really is room for all kinds behind all masks. I want you to keep the bike and bring it into a new era. Let it see how the world changed while it was sleeping. I don't ride much myself nowadays, so it'll be in good hands with you, and I get to be smug around the other machinists, which is all the reward I really need. I thank Fur for her skill and generosity and head off. And that's another quest completed. That makes good noises, doesn't it? So our quest log now. Fishing, we're not going to do any more fishing. We're not enjoying the fishing much. The fishing is grindy, very, very grindy. Building a queendom, similar. Exploring for chum eggs, could do it, will take a long time. I think it's time to end our gliding. It's time to end this game. So our destination is going to be up here. No, don't travel. Oh, I was going to journey there on the bike, but my thumbs were too fast. You know what? We should have a final journey on this thing. Let's travel back to the Hercules beetle nest. And yeah, let's just put this new bike through its paces a tiny bit at least. Also, I'm going to change what I'm wearing here because the funny little sandworm mask is ridiculous. I need to choose my mask, don't I? What's it going to be? I mean, the guards... Let's go through these in order. The cartographer's mask is pretty funky. That's an option. The machinist's mask I quite like. The entertainer's mask is ridiculous. The guard's mask is also a candidate. I think I'm going to be a guard, you know. I think Elizabeth... No. What was her name? I was going to say she really had an impact on me. Elizabeth, that was it. Yeah, I was going to say she really had an impact on me. I'm going to be a guard. But then I forgot her name. So maybe I shouldn't. But I think the machinists have been pretty cool. Let's be a machinist. Let's wear this awesome whale ship top. Her Cohen trousers go pretty well with it too. Yeah, this is what we're rocking. So, what's our destination? We need to set a marker. We need to go a little bit further right. It's kind of in that sort of direction. Right, let's go. Well, this makes funky noises, and it does handle very, very well. It's quite quiet as well. That engine just purrs. And I think this canyon here is the one that leads back to the Ewer. Back through this this rock structure, or maybe it's trees. Very clearly intended to represent something. Here we go, back at the camp where we started the game in the first place. I think the machinist workshop is just through here. Can we park our bike? That'll do. Okay, where is everybody? Are they all going to be waiting for me up at the top? Certainly there's no one down here at the moment. As the Ibex camp draws closer, the imagined threshold between home and gliding is palpable. It reminds me of coming in from a sandstorm, so fierce that the grains have whipped through the air and through your clothes. You peel off the layers of sand-beaten fabric and marvel at the dust on your skin, the bits that managed to get through despite every precaution. And though you feel so grateful to be home and so comforted by the safety of the indoors, you can't help but smile, nostalgic, as you wash the sand away. What an adventure you've had, and it was only for you. Am I ready to choose my mask now? There's no going back if I do. I'm ready. I think I'm ready. But am I really ready? Definitely ready. Do you think they're happy with my decision? How do they even recognize me? And I guess now I'm telling them all about my trials and tribulations, the things I've seen. There we go. Quest updated the gliding. I should speak to Jadi when I'm ready for the ceremony. Okay. Well, let's speak to everyone else first. Driss. Hello, Sable. Is there something I want to discuss with Driss? Okay. How's the clan been? I asked Driss how it's been managing the clan while I was gone. Chaotic as ever, which I think you should be pretty happy about. I asked Driss why he thinks I'd want that for him. Because it means it wasn't you. Well, of course it wasn't. Out of respect, I decide not to tell Driss that it may indeed be him who is at the heart of so much chaos. Instead, I simply assert it very clearly wasn't me. Well, you never know, you're still young, and youth usually comes with its share of chaos, or at least it should. Anyhow, you are off the proverbial hook. How nice for me. Think about choosing the scrapper's mask? No, I'm not really. I'd like to relitigate the sandcutter incident. What? I asked Driss once and for all if on that fateful day of my gliding he had actually forgotten to help out with my bike, and if the test ride on the sandcutter was a sly cover-up. He cocks his head. What are you talking about? You know what I'm talking about. I tell Driss that he knows very well what I'm talking about, but he shakes his head. No idea. I remember the whole bike thing going very smoothly. Plus, you took that sandcutter out and you didn't even get a little bit on fire. Great stuff. I accept Driss's response. I suppose even the gliding cannot be the answer to all things. Let's speak to someone else. Let's work our way around the circle, seeing as everyone's so conveniently presented themselves. Seima, so you came back. Seima crosses her arms, a challenge. I tell Seima I had to come back because when I left, some minuscule little beetle-hunting, part-stealing menace threw a fit about it and couldn't stop crying because she missed me so much. She nods. Yes, Jaddy took it very hard. I can't help it, I laugh, and I think in doing so, I let her win. I tell her I missed her. I missed you too, Sable. I'm happy you came back. Though I can practically see the pout beneath her mask, I'm impressed at how genuine she's able to sound, even if you don't end up staying long. I'm thinking of choosing the beetle mask. I ask what Seymour would think if I chose the beetle mask. I think you'd look pretty silly, but you'd look silly in every mask. Good. Love that. Missed this one, definitely. I think it would be a little like getting to play all the time and have a lot of pets, plus maybe you get to speak beetle language. I always see beetles go up to each other and do dances and click around and hiss and everything, and maybe they're saying things. So if you want to speak beetle, you could do that. She shrugs. I don't know. All masks are different, and it's not really going to matter once I'm on my gliding and get to come and visit you. I ask Seymour if she means come and bother me. If you're bothered, that's you, but I'm going to come and visit. I can't help but laugh. I tell her I'm looking forward to it. Let's speak to someone else. I greet Sizo. How do you do, clan child? Let's talk about Simoon. How was your companion? I would have been lonely without Simoon. Of course, the desert can be a desolate and sparse place. Travelling with a partner is the only way to keep the mind at peace. What will happen to Simoon now? Well, it's almost time for Seymour's gliding. Simoon will likely accompany her across the dunes. Ooh, she's got some upgrades. I feel a pang of melancholy as I think about losing Simoon. It had to happen one day. Nobody truly owns a bike in the Abexi, but is merely accompanied by one. I am grateful to have at least had that blessing. I met a lot of your machinist friends. I tell Sizo I met a lot of her friends on my travels. I know this, and I hope they were good to you, and to Simoon. I tell her they were, and she seems to take a bit of pride in that, which is rare to see in Sizo. Some really great machinists out there. I like them a lot. Do you think I should choose the machinist mask? I ask if Sizo thinks I ought to choose the machinist mask that I might join her order. She crosses her arms and takes time to think. Some will tell you that the life of a machinist is lonely. It isn't, and not only because we are assigned to clans who so often welcome us into their number. No, it's more. It's because we are never truly alone. As you were never truly alone on your gliding, you went with Simoon. I think of the moments where I sat looking at some map or hiding from some foul weather or trying to get over a sudden bout of very powerful homesickness, and Simoon gave a little hum that I could feel up through my legs. You have a very special bike, Sable. I nod along with Sizo. As you returned, I sat on the tower and heard Simoon's purr grow to a roar, and in it the traces of those whose work has helped give her shape. She speaks with many voices now, and that resonance. Sizo seems to shiver. It's why we do what we do. So if that appeals, then I can only recommend it. I thank Sizo for her counsel. Yeah, I'm liking the sound of the machinist mask at the moment. Who's next? Ilaria. Hey, Sable. It's strange how children change so much over such a short period. Ilaria has grown, but she'll always be a child to me. You've grown? Ilaria subconsciously stands a little taller and prouder as I say the words. I can't help but smile, remembering all the times adults would say, "Oh, how you've grown," to me as a child. Well, you've not grown at all. I haven't just grown, I can climb way higher now. Ziki hates it. It's great. Not all growth is external. It feels like a hollow defensive statement, but it's also true. Ilaria does not look convinced. Seymour will leave for her gliding soon, but at least you'll be back now. I don't have the heart to tell her that I might not stay with the Abexi. There's still time to decide, so I hold back. I did a lot of climbing out there. Oh, how high did you go? Did you touch a cloud? If I had a gliding stone, I would definitely touch a cloud. I reveal that I got the climbing mask. Ilaria seems to vibrate with excitement and jealousy. I can't believe it. You have to choose it. You will choose it, right? I mean, why wouldn't you? That would just be silly. I don't think I'll get a word in here, so I just let Ilaria effusively speak at me for a while, enjoying her passion for something so particular. Being a climber is a pretty solitary existence for the most part, mostly foraging for things that grow in the higher climbs, fixing or salvaging from ships in high places. But the sights you see, the places you get to go, it'll be like a continual gliding at times. Will I be comfortable at those heights without the gliding stone, or am I going to be losing the gliding stone? Let's speak to someone else. How many more have we got? 4 more, I think. Zeki, my child, welcome home. Have you been taking care of yourself? You look rather bony. Are you well? Zeki fusses over me. She would always look for reasons to care for us. That's no good at all, not at all. We'll have to fix you up with some of Jaddy's lamb stew. I'm involuntarily salivating at the thought. It's good to be back. Where have you been? After you left, we headed to some older Ibexi campsites, places we used before you were born. Going back, it was beautiful. The land flourishes when you leave it for so long. Each place transformed with life and abundant with things to forage since we were last there. Once we leave the Ewer, we will not be coming back for a long time. It needs time to recover from nourishing us. I might choose the entertainer's mask. Oh, an entertainer's mask. I see you are kept busy with young ones on your gliding too. Everybody needs a bit of levity now and then. It's an important part of life, valued by many. But you know the Ibexi are not in a position to accommodate such trifles. Fun and games are just that. If you pick this mask, you'll have to join a richer clan to join. We can't afford it. I hope you think carefully about what mask you choose, Sable. Talk to someone else. So I'm thinking in terms of mask options. I guess the Ibexi mask, this is the one that we choose if we want to stay with the clan. And any other one might result in us leaving and never returning, or at least only visiting this clan. Okay. Hilal, oh Sable, it's so good to have you home. I've thought about you so much, just imagining all the excitement. Every time we passed a cliffside, I thought, I bet Sable's just hovering everywhere. Have you heard of Ulhor the Fabulist? I asked Hilal if they've ever heard of Ulhor the Fabulist. Oh, of course I have. Not much for travel, you know. But not 2 years ago I made a special trip to Ekria just to see her. Why? I tell Hilal I met her out in the desert, and that we spent a whole evening talking about life and poetry. I add that I think I may have inspired some original work. That's amazing. So you think... Sorry, I'm so excited. So you think it's possible that next time I see Ulhor, she might actually read a poem that you inspired? I say yes, that it's quite possible. Now that is a gliding. Who cares what mask you choose? You got to hover around the world and you inspired Ulhor the Fabulist to write a new poem. If I were you, I'd put on my retirement mask, because I'd be done. We laugh together, and it feels really, really good. What do you think of the climber's mask? I ask Hilal what they think of the climber's mask. They light up straight away, which I think I should have expected. A brilliant mask. There's a lot of really good masks, obviously, but climbing. If you ask me, the worst part of the gliding's end is losing the perpetual stone. To hover forever, to fear nothing from heights or falls, that is an uncommon freedom, and you have to let it go. To me, climbing is the closest thing one gets to keeping that connection between oneself and the perpetual, just as the stone does. It banishes fear and risk, lets you explore the world's greatest vertical spaces with knowledge and fortitude. I think it's a great mask, and probably would have been my choice, had I not fallen so much in love with the Ibexi. I thank Hilal for their thoughts, and again for the stone they gave me so long ago. I should catch up with the others. One more person to talk to. A couple of people have said good things about the climber's mask so far. Umar, welcome back. I don't remember the last time I heard Umar speak. Maybe to yell a warning, but never to converse. It takes me a moment to think of something to reply. How have you been? Umar shrugs silently. I think that's all I'm going to get from him on that. Did you miss me? He emits a low grunt and what sounds like a chuckle. I think that means he missed me. Let's talk to someone else. Is there any mail waiting for us? Oh, that's interesting. We have a bit of invisible wall action going on. Yeah, I'm actually constrained to this area. Okay, only one person left to talk to. This person. Being back with the Ibexi is more comfortable than I expected. I think I thought the gliding would change every part of me and that I would come home different. Perhaps more mature or more jaded, or at least able to grasp more of Driss's jokes or Hilal's poetry. The actual change is more subtle, and it's that somehow, despite spending so much time discovering the world beyond, I've never felt more like a part of this clan. And it isn't about being Ibexi, or which mask I ultimately choose. It's simply that I no longer feel so behind everyone, or like they know some grown-up secret I yearn to understand. I feel embraced, wholly, as the person I am. Sable. So now we've heard your stories, or at least the ones you're happy to tell. That means it's nearly time now. Jaddy's sigh is contented. I suspect that she was more concerned with my experience of the gliding than the grand choice at its end. For that I am grateful. Are you ready to choose? Am I? I'm ready to choose. I tell Jaddy I am ready. She nods. I won't keep you, Sable. If you know what you want, then all I desire is to learn what that is and celebrate it with you. I'm allowed to be excited too, aren't I? She chuckles. Whenever you're ready, proceed to the temple. I should head to the Temple of Rahana and choose my mask. Okay, let's do that. Let's see if Simoon wants to come on one last journey. Sounds like she does. Oh, cutscene. Ah, I summoned Simoon in the cutscene as well. I guess we're saying goodbye. That bike has some sweet upgrades. And I guess now if I call, there'll be no response. Nope, just whistling into the void. No Simoon anymore. Right, we need to make our way up here and finish off this game. It's really disappointing that the fishing wasn't more of a satisfying experience, but I guess you can't have everything. And this mask, I guess, is where it all happens. I think this wasn't open before. Oh no, actually, this is where we picked up the perpetual stone, wasn't it? I feel like if I go down to this thing... Yeah, here we go. Here's the cutscene. Okay. Alright, so I see we have these statues for choosing. So there's the climbing mask. That's the... Is that the scrapper's mask or the merchant's? I'm not sure. Entertainer there. Machinist here. Got the Shade of Ecria mask. That's an option, apparently. There's the guard mask. There's the beetle. There's the sandworm. The abexi. That one's... I think that one's the merchant, actually. It's hard to remember. There's the cartographer mask. Plenty of options to choose from. I mean, I'm inclined towards the merchant's mask. But the Shade of Ecria mask is here too. I mean, that's... I mean, I'm not the Shade. Well, I'm going to go with... I think I'm going to go with machinist. No. Oh, it's tricky. Now I'm faced with this decision. I'm definitely not going with sandworm. That's ridiculous. The entertainer one is so entertaining. Now, I've been talking about machinist. I shouldn't change my mind at the last moment. Could I be a machinist? Yes. I think of Sizo and of all the machine whisperers I've met along the way. They're so different, so unique and disparate, but bound by knowledge, clanhood, and some undefined connection to the world. I enjoyed the independence of the gliding, and equally I loved meeting new people across the desert, learning a little bit about them before going on my way. And certainly I loved Simoon, and every late night I spent huddled at her side. I loved the sound of her and the smoothness of her ride. I loved her sense of humour, which I suddenly realise I've never thought about before. And certainly I can't quite figure out why I've had this thought all of a sudden about a bike that has never made anything more than sounds. But I feel it. Or perhaps it's just the mask. Am I sure? Yes, I'm sure. I don the mask of the machinist. It smells of steel and petrichor, and I adore it. And here we go, stepping back out into the world as a machinist. No gliding stone anymore, no Simoon. Full damage. And the credits roll. That is the end of the game. I've enjoyed playing this game a lot. I love the design, I love the environment. There have been elements of it that have been a little bit shaky, some of the pacing towards the end, and that whole fishing minigame, that feels like a bit of a misstep. But on the whole, that's been a lovely, lovely little game. I've enjoyed playing it a lot, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this series. Bye bye.